What if I told you there's a place on Earth where women have mastered the art of psychological warfare so skillfully that they can get two feuding clans to become family, and each side thinks it was their own brilliant idea? In Somalia, there are women who can demolish decades of family bad blood with one prophetic dream. They create fake identities, get witnesses on board, and weave webs of half-truths so masterfully that everyone involved actually thanks them for it. And here's the kicker: they do it all in the name of love. Picture this: a young guy falls head over heels for a girl from a rival clan. Going straight to her parents with a marriage proposal? That's asking for trouble, serious trouble. But there are women who can turn this impossible love story into reality using psychological tricks that would make any shrink jealous. They invent fictional relatives. They quote the last wishes of dead tribal elders. They use mind games so slick that families start begging for exactly what they initially wanted to refuse. And you know what's really mind-blowing? It works 90% of the time. Today, I'm going to tell you about the secret ritual of Somali matchmakers, women who've turned the art of persuasion into tradition and subtle manipulation into sacred custom. You'll learn about the techniques they use to change people's minds, how they help folks make the right decisions, and the most incredible part, why none of the players ever feel like they've been played. But I've saved the most intriguing part for last. What these women pull off in the final act, when they sense a family is ready to say yes, it's so genius and subtle at the same time that you won't believe it until you hear it yourself. Stick around till the end, because what you'll discover about human psychology from this story might completely change how you understand your own relationships. And maybe you'll realize that someone has already used these very techniques on you. The scorching wind carries the scent of spices and salt from the Indian Ocean. In the shade of a baobab tree, women gather, their voices blending into the quiet hum of conspirators. They're not discussing trade, rain, or war. They're weaving a web of words and subtle hints designed to get two people to the altar, people who don't even know they're in the crosshairs yet. Welcome to the world of Somali matchmakers, masters of the gentle art of manipulation, all in the name of love. In Somalia, marriage isn't just about two hearts becoming one. It's a political move, a business deal, a joining of bloodlines that can change the fate of entire clans. And in this complex dance of interests, the starring roles go to female go-betweens who've mastered the art of noble persuasion. The setup. Picture this: a young man from the Darod clan spots a girl from the Hawiye family. A direct marriage proposal could be a disaster. These clans have been feuding for generations. But love doesn't care about tribal politics. That's when the professional matchmakers step in, women who make the impossible seem inevitable. Phase 1 is reconnaissance. The matchmaker shows up at the girl's house pretending to be a jewelry vendor or a healer. She studies the family from the inside: who calls the shots, what they need, any family drama, what keeps them up at night, what they dream about. Meanwhile, another woman is scoping out the guy's family. Information is their weapon, and patience is their strategy. Then comes the really interesting part: creating the backstory. The matchmaker might present herself as a distant relative of one of the families, visiting from far away. Or she'll claim she had a prophetic dream about uniting these bloodlines. Sometimes she'll spin a story about how some deceased elder supposedly left instructions to bring these families together. The goal is always the same: create a situation where saying no would be disrespecting tradition. A art ko indirect approach. In Somali culture, being too direct is considered rude. So a matchmaker will never say, "Your son wants to marry this girl." Instead, she'll spend months weaving a web of hints, chance encounters, and coincidences. She'll arrange for the guy's family to visit on the same day the girl happens to be helping out at their distant relative's place. "What an amazing coincidence!" the matchmaker will exclaim, like she's witnessing a miracle. Or she'll make sure both young people end up at the same celebration where they'll be introduced as children of really good families. Working with mothers is a special skill. Somali mothers have huge influence over who their kids marry. The matchmaker might spend months earning the girl's mother's trust, sharing family secrets, helping around the house, basically becoming a close friend. Only when trust is completely won does she start casually praising the potential groom's family. The psychology game. But the real magic happens when it's time to overcome actual obstacles. The guy's family doesn't have much money. Suddenly, the matchmaker is talking about his incredible business sense and entrepreneurial spirit. The girl is considered too headstrong. All of a sudden, that becomes a sign of intelligence and strength of character, exactly what a successful man needs in a wife. Sometimes matchmakers create entire fictional narratives. They might get merchants to casually mention in conversation how well the groom's family is doing. Or they'll ask a respected elder to remember the good deeds of the bride's father. In their minds, this isn't lying. It's the art of presenting the truth from the right angle. The sacred rejection. One of the slickest techniques is the sacred rejection method. When the matchmaker senses a family is ready for the proposal, she suddenly starts talking them out of the marriage. Maybe they're not right for each other. Perhaps we should look for someone else. This apparent contradiction works like a charm. The psychology is simple. When someone tells you not to want something or tries to talk you out of it, you want it even more. The families start actively convincing the matchmaker that this union would be perfect. They start finding good qualities in their potential in-laws all by themselves. And the matchmaker, giving in to their persuasion, gets exactly what she planned from day one. The illusion of choice. Maybe the most amazing thing about this whole ritual is that both families genuinely believe they made the decision about the marriage themselves. The skill of Somali matchmakers lies in directing events so subtly that every player feels like they're the author of what's happening. The young man thinks he's the one who noticed the beautiful girl and decided to marry her. His parents are convinced they personally chose the ideal daughter-in-law. The girl's family believes they decided to become related to a worthy family. And the girl, if she's lucky, thinks her opinion mattered too. The deep game. At the heart of this complex ritual lies a deep understanding of human nature and the social dynamics of Somali society. A direct proposal might trigger resistance, especially if the families belong to different clans or social classes. But the gradual ripening of an idea, backed up by multiple coincidences and signs, allows all parties to save face and maintain their dignity. The matchmaker doesn't force anything. She creates conditions where the desired decision becomes natural and logical. She doesn't mislead. She manages information and context, letting people see the situation from the right angle. Today, the world is changing, and even in Somalia, young people increasingly want to choose their own life partners. Urbanization, education, global cultural influence, all of this is undermining the power of traditional matchmakers. But surprisingly, their art isn't disappearing, it's transforming. Modern matchmakers have learned to work in new conditions. They use social media to find suitable matches, arrange chance meetings at universities and offices, adapting ancient techniques to 21st century realities. The setting changes, but the essence remains the same. The subtle art of creating circumstances where love has a chance to bloom. The bigger picture. The story of Somali matchmakers isn't just a tale about exotic traditions from a faraway country. It's a lesson about how human relationships work, about the power of patience and subtlety, about how sometimes the most direct path to your goal is the roundabout one. In a world where we often demand everything right now, where honesty is understood as bluntness and diplomacy seems fake, Somali matchmakers show us a different way. A path where wisdom lies in understanding that people always need to feel like they're the authors of their own decisions, even if those decisions were carefully prepared by someone else's caring hands. And maybe there's more honesty in their art of persuasion than in our straight talk. Because at the heart of their actions lies not greed, but genuine belief that two people were made for each other. They just need a little help figuring it out. In the sands of time, only those traditions survive that answer deep human needs. The art of Somali matchmakers lives on precisely because it's based on an eternal truth. Sometimes love needs help finding its way. And there's nothing wrong with providing that help, subtly, delicately, with understanding of the human soul and respect for everyone's dignity.